My name is Madison Tassinari, and this is my TEDx talk about AI and the future of nursing, embracing and influencing change. Imagine the ER on a Saturday night. Patients line the halls, monitors beep, alarms overlap. Now, imagine an invisible partner, an artificial intelligence that doesn't just record vital signs, but interprets them, that whispers, "This patient will deteriorate soon. Intervene now." That is no longer science fiction. It's the frontier of nursing, and it's arriving faster than we think. Healthcare is drowning in data. Every patient admission generates an avalanche. Triage notes, vital signs from monitors, labs and imaging results, medication lists, consult notes, progress notes, discharge instructions, and now even data from wearables and home health devices. For nurses, this flood of information is both a blessing and a burden. On one hand, we have more knowledge at our fingertips than ever before. On the other, we are expected to sift through it in real time, often while juggling multiple critically ill patients. What if I told you that research shows that nurses spend around 40% of their shift on documentation, nearly half of their working time? This leaves less time for direct patient care. This isn't just about efficiency, it's about safety. Critical details can be buried in hundreds of chart entries. A subtle but dangerous lab trend might go unnoticed until it's too late. A medication change might get lost in a sea of alerts. AI offers a way forward. Rather than asking nurses to be human search engines, AI can scan the chaos, identify patterns, bring to the surface what matters most, and even predict patient risk before the human eye can see it. These tools are not futuristic. They're already being piloted in hospitals today. So the question is not whether AI will enter the nursing practice. It already has. The real issue is whether we, as nurses, will lead its adoption and shape it to serve us and our patients, or whether we will let it be shaped without us. I've lived both realities. As a bedside nurse, I've felt technology pull me away from patients. As a nurse informaticist, I've seen how well-designed tools can return time and focus back to care. My stance is this: AI is coming, and nurses must meet it with preparation, not fear. If we lead it, it'll amplify our practice. If we resist, it may move ahead without us. Research shows that many nurses are cautiously optimistic. In a recent study, nurses with more positive attitudes towards AI also demonstrated higher creative self-efficacy and stronger clinical reasoning competency. Whether nurses actually adopt AI often comes down to how comfortable they feel with it. How familiar does this technology feel to them? What is their confidence in its accuracy? Do they sense that it will genuinely support safe and effective care? Other findings suggest that even when nurses recognize AI's potential, uncertainty about transparency and lack of hands-on training can hold them back. This highlights the importance of education and exposure. The more that nurses understand how AI works and see the benefits in its action, the more likely they are to engage with it rather than fear it. This tells us something powerful. Nurses see the potential, but they're cautious. And caution is wise. But rejection will not stop AI from entering our workflows. Only engagement will allow us to guide it responsibly. AI is, of course, not without its flaws. The Agency for Healthcare Research and Quality warns that while AI can reduce medical errors, it can also introduce new ones if built on biased data or misused by clinicians. As an example, predictive models that do not include diverse patient populations may miss early warning signs in minority groups or falsely overestimate risk in others. An AI-driven alert that fires too often can lead to alarm fatigue, causing staff to dismiss even the accurate warnings. And when clinicians do not understand how a recommendation was generated, they might either ignore it altogether or place too much blind faith in it. Both extremes can harm patients. That risk underscores the need for nurse leadership. We are the ethical compass. The American Nurses Association made this clear in its 2022 position statement. AI must be used ethically, with nurses directly involved in its design, development, and oversight. If we withdraw from the conversation, these systems will still be implemented, but without our voice. This isn't the first time nursing and medicine have faced disruptive change. Think about the transition from paper documentation to electronic records. The resistance was fierce. Nurses and physicians alike worried it would slow them down or take away from patient care, and for a time, it did. But those willing to adapt learned to harness electronic health records as a tool. They saw how instant access to histories, team communication, and outcome tracking could improve care. Others resisted, and many still struggle with digital workflows today. This is exactly what change theorist Kurt Lewin described: unfreezing old habits, navigating the discomfort of transition, and refreezing new practices into the norm. Change requires not just new technology, but buy-in. What we often forget is that transitions are messy in the middle. During the EHR rollout, nurses had to tolerate frustration, double work, and steep learning curves before seeing long-term benefits. The same will be true for AI. We can expect a period of discomfort, skepticism, and adjustment before AI tools become seamlessly integrated into daily practice. Leaders must anticipate this turbulence and provide education, mentorship, and reassurances. Without these supports, resistance hardens and adoption slows. Change theory reminds us that involvement and communication are the antidotes to fear. When frontline nurses are included early in design and rollout, they're more likely to feel ownership and less likely to resist. And when successful stories are shared, a sepsis alert that saved a life, an ambient listening tool that freed up an extra hour for patient care, the abstract promise of AI becomes personal, practical, and real. I've seen this same pattern play out in my own work. Recently, we implemented Abridge Ambient Listening, an AI tool that records physician-patient conversations and transforms them into structured documentation. Some physicians embraced it. They took time to learn the system, test its features, and even provided feedback that improved the tool. By adapting their workflow, they reduced charting time and gained back more face-to-face interaction with patients. But others rejected it outright. They didn't ask how it worked, they didn't test it, they simply ignored it. Those physicians remain bogged down in documentation while their peers move forward. This is Lewin's theory in action. Some unfreeze, adapt, and grow. Others remain frozen, and their practice suffers for it. And here's the truth. AI will not wait for everyone to be comfortable, just as electronic documentation became non-negotiable. AI will become integral to healthcare. The choice is not if it's coming, but how we respond. Here is where nursing leadership matters. Change without engagement creates disruption. Change with buy-in creates transformation. AI tools will not ask our permission before arriving in the workplace. They will arrive through vendor contracts, pilot projects, and policy mandates. If we as nurses don't prepare ourselves, we risk being passive recipients of tools we don't understand, or worse, tools that don't serve our patients. So, what does this mean for us today? It means we cannot stand back and hope AI will be someone else's responsibility. So, I challenge you. Get involved. Join the committees where AI decisions are made. Educate yourself. Seek AI literacy training. Make it part of nursing education. Advocate for your patients. Ask how AI tools are validated and whether they've been tested across diverse populations. Reframe change. Think of AI the way we once thought of electronic documentation. Disruptive at first, but ultimately inevitable and transformative. AI is powerful, but it will never replace compassion, empathy, or the human heart of nursing. Let's make sure it becomes our ally, not our adversary.